What's up, guys? Welcome to my channel and welcome to another video. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, and while you're at it, smash that like button. I would really appreciate it. In today's video, I'm going to be going over 10 steps that you can follow in order to save your first $100,000. Now, this is not an easy process, and in order for you to hit your goal, you have to be laser focused throughout the entire process. Now, with that said, let's jump right into it. Number one is creating a monthly budget. Now, creating a monthly budget is one of the most important things that you're going to do throughout this process, because that budget is going to act as your foundation. So if you think about it, if you're building a house, it needs to be on a strong foundation in order for it to be secure. And if it's not built on a strong foundation, then it all comes crumbling down. So think about your budget as the foundation on your wealth building journey. And if it's not a strong foundation, everything that I talk about from steps 2 through 10 won't matter. If you have any questions about putting together a monthly budget, I'll drop a link in the description of a previous video that I recorded on how to create a monthly budget. Number 2 on the list is getting a list of all the consumer debt that you currently have that's outstanding. Now, consumer debt is going to include any credit card payments, any store charge cards, car loans, personal loans, any outstanding bills that you owe. You're going to make sure that you have all that information. You're going to have that down in either a spreadsheet, write it down on paper, whatever works for you. But what you're going to want to do is you're going to take all of the money that you have after paying for all of your essential bills, your mortgage, your rent, your food, things of that nature. You're going to want to put every available dollar towards paying off any debt that you have. And the reason that you want to do this is because consumer debt is the killer of your number one wealth building tool, which is your earned income from your job. And while you're jotting down all of your consumer debts, one of the things that you should look at, and you should really take a really hard look at, is any car loans that you have. So your car loan, in my opinion, should equal no more than 10% of your monthly gross income. If your car loan equals more than 10% of your monthly gross take-home pay, you should consider selling that car and potentially buying a new one for cash or trading it in for something that will give you a lower car payment. Number 3 on the list is going to be save, save, save. So what you want to do with the income that you now have that is no longer going to credit cards or extremely expensive car loans, you're going to want to start putting that money to the side in a high yield interest savings account. And while that money is sitting in a savings account, you're going to make sure that you're living on the least amount possible. One thing that I did when I went on this journey was I tried to live on no more than 50% of my monthly gross take-home pay. Now, I know for some people that's not realistic, especially when you're starting off. But in order to continue to build wealth and do so rapidly, you have to take drastic steps and drastic measures to cut from your budget when and where possible and try to live on the least amount of money possible in order to continue to save money that will ultimately go towards you hitting your financial goal. Number 4 on the list is asking for a raise and or a promotion at your current job. If you've been at your job for at least a year, you want to consider having a conversation with your boss about your career path within the company. Are there opportunities for promotions, and are there opportunities for raises? This is something that you need to continuously be aware of, because one thing that I believe is that everyone is in charge of their own personal career development, and no one's going to do this for you. So this is something that you really have to think about. It really needs to be in the front of your mind, and you want to ensure that your boss, your leadership team, they're aware that you have ambition to either grow with them or look for different opportunities within that organization. Number 5 on the list is going to be looking for a new job and or looking to acquire a new certification. So, like I mentioned in step 4, if you are actively speaking with your boss or your leadership team about raises and promotions, and you've hit that ceiling, and there's nowhere else for you to go, you want to consider looking outside of that organization for new opportunities, and that could be with a job that's in the same industry that you're currently working in, or you could go out and get a certification that will allow you to go into a new industry where you may be able to make more money than you're currently making. But at the end of the day, what you want to do is you want to make sure that you're continuing to try to make more money or earn income, because that's going to be your number one tool throughout this process, is going to be your earned income through your job. Number 6 on the list is creating a side hustle. Now at this point, if you completed steps 1 through 5, you unlock what I call the wealth cheat code. And what the wealth cheat code is, for me, is that you have paid off all of your consumer debt, so you're debt free outside of your mortgage or your rent, and you have either received a promotion at work or a raise, or you went outside of the organization and got a new job or a new certification that allows you to make even more money that you can add to your savings account in order to reach your goal. So number 6 is going to be creating that side hustle. And that side hustle could be anything that interests you. So you can be very creative in determining what your side hustle could be. And it could be anything that interests you. Side hustles could be anything from driving for Uber Eats, selling items on eBay. One of the things that I did in order to have a side business and generate additional cash was I got my real estate license, and I was selling real estate part-time in the evenings and on the weekends in order to earn extra cash. So whatever you'd like to do as far as a side hustle to generate additional revenue, completely up to you. But the point that I'm trying to drive home here is that you have to be active. You have to get out there and you have to go after it. You can't spend your weekends watching TV, playing video games, things of that nature. You really have to get active and be on your purpose and on your goal in order to hit that first $100,000. Number 7 on the list is learning how to invest in the stock market. And I do this by investing in ETFs and index funds. If you're not aware of what ETFs or index funds are, I'll link a previous video that I did that walks through some of my favorite ETFs to invest in. As you're starting to build up a nice savings cushion, what you're going to want to start doing is moving some of that cash into the stock market and buying ETFs and index funds. And you want to do this because you're going to get a higher return on your money in the stock market as opposed to it being in a savings account. Now I know right now with interest rates being so high, interest on savings accounts are abnormally high. Normally you're going to be getting about 0.5% interest on your money when you leave it in a savings account. And when you buy an index fund or an ETF, you're going to expect to average 7 to 10% return on that money year over year compounded. So you want to make sure that you're really starting to learn about stocks and how to invest in stocks, because that's going to be a tremendous asset to helping you get to that $100,000 goal. Number 8 on the list is blocking out all the noise, staying focused on your goal. Warren Buffett's right-hand man, Charlie Munger, once stated that getting your first $100,000 is a bitch, but you got to do it. When I first heard this quote, I didn't quite understand what he meant by that until I started my financial journey. And then I really started to understand what that quote meant, at least for me. It was not just getting to the $100,000 number, but it was building the habits and the characteristics that it takes to not only hit that number, but to actually surpass it and continue down your wealth building journey. Number 9 on the list is reviewing your budget and making any necessary changes that are needed in order to accelerate your wealth building journey. As you go through the process, you'll want to make sure that you're consistently checking your budget and making changes when and where needed. And number 10 on the list is you've just hit your goal of $100,000 in savings. One thing that I would advise you to do is I would advise you to continue to invest in yourself to increase your financial literacy in order to 5x or 10x their savings that you now have in your account. And also you can consider investing in different asset classes such as crypto or real estate. All right, that's it. 10 steps that you can follow in order to save your first $100,000. Now, I wasn't able to go into detail with each of the steps, but I did want to provide you with a blueprint that you can follow in order to hit the goal of $100,000 in savings. Drop me some comments below and let me know what you think about the 10 steps that I've laid out to reach $100,000 in savings. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.